Here comes Mitt Romney out of nowhere. Oh, no, he slams Donald Trump with a chair over the head. Oh, okay. Now, the establishment is trying to strike back against Donald Trump. They've sent Mitt Romney out there, who does not like Trump. And he is going to make a very ironic attack. Let's watch.
Donald Trump and Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz have none shown us their back taxes. And, this was an issue in my campaigns. And this will give us a real sense of whether these people are on the up and up and whether they've been telling us things about themselves that are true or not. So, I think, frankly, I think we have good reason to believe that there's a bombshell in Donald Trump's taxes.
What do you mean?
Well, I think there's something there. Either he's not anywhere near as wealthy as he says he is, or he hasn't been paying the kind of taxes we would expect him to pay, or perhaps he hasn't been giving money to the vets or to the disabled like he's been telling us he's been doing. And I think that's the reason that I think that there's a bombshell in there is because every time he's asked about his taxes, he dodges and delays and says, well, we're working on it. One, we could find he doesn't have anywhere near as much income as we might think he would have with a $10 billion net worth, or he doesn't pay any taxes, or he pays very, very low taxes.
Wait, are you saying that you think he's worth significantly less than that?
I don't know. I'm just saying the fact that he is so aggressive in avoiding any discussion of his taxes, and is not willing to put them out so far, suggests that there's something in there he doesn't want us to see. He likes to tell people how well he's done. Why isn't he willing to let us look at the tax returns? And that's something. This was an issue in my campaign. That's why I'm so sensitive to it.
Yeah, that might be the case. This is really weird because the Democrats attacked Mitt Romney for not releasing his tax returns, and they said very similar things about him. And he finally released like a smidgen of them estimated taxes and 1 year of actual taxes, and we found out he was only paying like 15%. Isn't that sick? The theoretical top tax rate at that time was around 35%. Then you have local, state taxes. The top 1% is always complaining, too much taxes, most taxes. No, you're not paying it. You're not paying it. He's only paying 15%. That's less than most of the people in America who work hard and are in theoretically much lower brackets, but they find 1,000 loopholes. He's got money in the Cayman Islands. So they found the most ironic guy in the world to attack Donald Trump on this issue. Maybe it's because he got attacked on it and he's better man, and he's thinking, oh yeah? What about Donald's taxes? Now, is he right that there could be a bombshell in there? Of course! Could Donald Trump be lying about his taxes? I would be shocked if he weren't lying. In one way, shape, or another. He mentioned 3 different possibilities there. Maybe he doesn't have that much money, maybe he's not paying any taxes, and maybe he's not really giving that much money to the vets. I would say all 3. Okay, so how's Donald going to respond to this? Well, let's start.
When do we get tax returns, Donald Trump? Because Mitt Romney got killed on this 4 years ago, and you've got to get him out there as well.
Well, we'll get him out at some point, probably. I'm looking at it. I told my people the other day, start looking at it. I have very, very complex. So it's, one of those things. But we are working on very complex papers, but we're working on it.
Will we get him soon, do you think?
I don't know. I have to ask my accounting people.
Yeah, so we're working on it. It's, very complicated. Small minds like you wouldn't understand. You need a very large mind like Donald Trump. My guess is tax papers are a mess. Nothing but a mess. Okay, so that was just a very calm way of evading. On Twitter, he's not going to be as calm. He says about Romney, Mitt Romney, who totally blew an election that should have been won and whose tax returns made him look like a fool, is now playing a tough guy. Now, that's the Donald Trump we know and kind of despise. Okay, then he went on to say nobody's been bringing it up, referring to this issue, except Mitt Romney. And the reason he brings it up is that he lost in that last election, and he lost very, very badly. So that's kind of a weird thing to say. This issue just got brought up by a very important figure in the Republican Party, the guy who was your last presidential nominee. Nobody else is bringing it up. Now let's go to the press and see if we can find someone parroting that same exact talking point on behalf of Donald Trump. Let's watch.
My attitude towards this is the same attitude I had towards Hillary Clinton yesterday, which everybody disagreed with me. If the Republicans want to release their speeches, then I'll release my speech, as Hillary said, and that seems very fair. With Donald Trump, I'd say the same thing. If everybody wants to release their taxes, then I'll release them. But why should I? Mitt Romney's taxes were relevant because people wanted to see if he paid 14, 15, 16%. Why are Donald Trump's taxes relevant other than so people in New York City can dig through them, who have been saying that he's not worth $10 billion for a year, and just look at it for their own excitable interest?
For exactly the reason you just... People want to find out if he's paying any taxes, not just 14, 15, 16%.
I haven't heard.
Is he paying any taxes?
That hasn't been an issue with Donald Trump here.
Oh, I think it's an issue because nobody knows.
I just haven't heard anybody bring it up.
Well, I'm bringing it up.
I've heard a lot of rich people in New York City sniff that he's not worth $10 billion.
No.
Donald Trump says, I haven't heard anybody bring it up. Scarborough says, I haven't heard anybody bring it up. No, Scarborough's totally neutral here. Oh, yeah, perhaps he should do more town halls where he's interviewing, questioning, challenging Donald Trump. I know, dude, you want to be his vice president. Just bring it down like 100 notches, and you'd still be massively biased in favor of Donald Trump. It's kind of embarrassing when you're taking talking points from his campaign and just repeating it on air. Okay, now he's not alone, though. There's a bunch of people in the media that are Donald Trump supporters. Unsurprisingly, Lou Dobbs, who has been on the warpath against immigrants for as long as I can remember, comes to Donald's defense as well.
There's no better measure of the elite's desperation than for them to send in Mitt Romney into the fray as their hatchet man. Romney, hatchet man. Doesn't sound right, does it? He was a poor presidential candidate in 2012, and he has certainly shown himself to be a lousy political hatchet man in 2016. Romney's done enough for the GOP. Doesn't it seem so to you?
What's that talking point I'm getting from the Trump campaign? Hatchet man. Romney's a hatchet man. Hatchet man. Poor candidate. Very poor candidate. Hatchet man. Okay, nicely done, Lou. Now, the reason Lou Dobbs is such a big advocate of Donald Trump is because of moments like this. Today in the press, out of Iowa, we find out that there was a high school called Perry High in Iowa. It is disproportionately racially diverse in Iowa. Iowa is largely white, but in that case, in that high school, lots of African Americans, Latinos, Native Americans. And when they were playing basketball with other teams, and this is confirmed by local news and confirmed by the high schools, the other teams started chanting, Trump, 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 Trump. Fascism, it's right here in America. And Susan Sarandon, believe it or not, actually put it best when she was talking to our reporter, Jordan Chariton. She said Trump has normalized racism. That's what's going on in this country. I guess to the credit of the Republican establishment, they're beginning to fight back, and Republicans know how to fight dirty. So they're like, hey, if they went after Romney on his taxes and it hurt him, maybe we could hurt Trump in the same way. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Here comes a little bit of empire striking back against Donald Trump.